Hi, I'm Jacqueline Parasetsky, founder of Skin Perfect Spas, Skin Perfect Academy, and Color Me Perfect Cosmetics. Today we're going to talk about face shapes. Every single makeup artist needs to understand face shapes because it is exactly the definition your client needs to enhance their face shape with light and shadow. So imagine if you don't even understand face shapes and you start makeup, you're not helping your client highlight their best features. So we're going to start with our model Lena. We clip the hair back. That's one of the first things we want to do with the face shape. We're looking at angles and we're looking at proportions. So first I'm going to look at her width of her forehead. So it helps having some sort of straight edge tool to be able to see how wide their forehead is. So if I look, her forehead is about this width. Now if I go down across the bridge of her nose, I can see her cheeks are a little bit wider. And then now if I go down, her jawline. So I'm going to have her stick her neck out. And this helps me see, like a turtle, we do this. You tell your client like that. That'll help you see. She's really square right in through here. She's very angular. And when clients have lost any type of elasticity, sometimes it's harder to see, but you can really feel their bone structure. So if I look at her overall proportions of her face, her forehead, her cheeks, and her jawline is almost the same width, okay? And her face is not exceptionally long. It's wider than it is long. So I would put Lena in a square face shape. So when I'm working with the square, it's important that I contour the cheekbone, okay? And I'm gonna soften angles. So bronzer could go here. I'm gonna also bronze her jawline and bronze her forehead. So that way I'm softening the angles. The idea of understanding face shape is bringing all of the attention to the center features. We're wanting to look at the eyes, the nose, and the lips. So we're softening the circumference of the face. So you are, my dear, Miss Square, but you're a lot more fun than square. Okay, now my next model is Danny. So Danny has a very unique face shape. If I'm going to look at her proportions again, I'm going to start with the width of her forehead, and I'm going to compare this to the width of her cheekbones. Now her cheekbones are wider than her forehead. Now we go down to her jawline. Go ahead and stick your little neck out. And you can see she's coming in on her jawline. So she's almost making this little bit of a V, but then she's also rounded here. So Danny is what I call a combination face shape, which is very unique. It is round with diamond and the angularity of her cheeks. So when we have someone with a diamond jawline, we want to make sure that we're not making this look smaller. Because a lot of people they'll bronze too much in here. Well, that's going to make this disappear. We don't want it to disappear. If anything, we want to contour her forehead, and we're going to bring a little bit of definition to her cheek, but not making her makeup look sharp and angular. Because when you make the makeup look sharp and angular, it's not going to make her look young and fresh and glowing. If anything, it will make her look tired. So we want to make sure that you do not play up angularity of angular faces. Instead, you're basically just softening them and then adding a little bit of color, giving her that glow. So no heavy bronzers. So on our next face shape, we have Miss Anne. And Anne has a face shape that is in length longer. So if you compare to the other two that we did, Anne's face shape is longer and she has a very narrow forehead. Her forehead is not very wide and it's very narrow in both ways. But her cheekbones are a little bit wider. And go ahead and stick your neck out. For her bottom of her face, we're going to go ahead and look. Her proportions are almost as wide as her cheeks. Her cheeks are slightly wide. So this would be an oval face shape, but with slightly rounded edges. So she's primarily oval because ovals usually have a smaller forehead. And she's oval in her chin, but then she just rounds a little bit of her cheeks out. So, but she's also a longer face shape. So what we would call this face shape is actually oblong with oval. So oval, then oblong at the bottom. So what that means is the most important thing is I want to pull her face up. I want to bring the features here. So when you're using contours or bronzers, you want to contour or bronze these areas. So you're bringing the eyes to focus here. And then you also want to contour under her chin, so you're shortening the length of her face. So these are just some tips for face shapes. We can dive into so much more, but please remember, look at proportions, and you also want to look at softening angles and softening the corners or roundness of the face. The goal is to bring the eye into the center, like imagine it like a triangle. The focus goes in here. So I hope this was helpful. Make sure you look in the mirror and start practicing what your face shape is, and I'll see you next time.